A video on making some fake kind of brown sauce onion ketchup type of thing, like a savoury condiment to have on a bacon sandwich or in a sausage sandwich type of thing, or to have at the side of a bit of cold pie, like pork pie or a meat pie. So I've got some, I accumulate things in the cupboards, like experiments, little bits of jars of this, little bits of jars of that, things that I don't kind of know what to do with, things that are kind of like, kind of getting a bit out of date, that we really should do something with. And I've got some onion trimmings as well, and some onions that need using up. So it's a good opportunity to make a condiment from other things. So onions, I've got some red ones, and I've got some white onions, well, it might be yellow ones, but I don't know. And then we've got some trimmings, so it's all the rooty bits as well. That's fine, is that? Because it's all going to get cooked down and pureed, so those, and sieved. So any kind of really tough bits will get sieved out. So those are the onions, and then I've got some cooked onions as well from another experiment. So they're going to go in. And then I was faffing around with mushroom ketchup as well, so that's going to go in. So that was a bit of an experiment that didn't really know what to kind of do with it, but might as well get it used up, save it living in the cupboard for quite a while. And then what else have we got? So now brown sauce has normally got some tamarind in it, so we've got some tamarind that we've already opened. Not going to use all of that, but we'll use some of that. I've got some miso paste, which is, oh, it's ridiculous, I don't really want to say how past it's so bad it is. Here we go. So 2016, we're in 2024 at the moment. So are we in 25? Are we in 24 or 25? 24. Yeah, 25 is next year. Yeah. No, it's because I'm getting confused because I've just done my end of year books and I've started my next year's books, and next year's books are 24, 25. So that's kind of thinking, oh. So I'm looking at my books at the moment thinking, seeing 24 and 25 and thinking, are we in 25 yet? That's why I'm getting confused. I'm not getting dementia. So that is 8 years past its best. I opened it recently and it was fine, but that'll go in. And then we've got a little bit of Tabasco, so that's looking way past its best. That's probably just as old. We'll use some of that up. We've got some hoisin sauce that's been in the cupboard. It's been in the fridge for 18 months. That's going to get thrown in there as well. And then, so the brown sauce that I'm going to make is basically a onion puree, in essence, an onion puree with vinegar and sugar and a little bit of gravy brownie for a little bit of colour, and then anything else that we add on top is a kind of like a bonus. So I'm going to use malt vinegar, but also this is the, so at work, the vinegar in the vinegar pot, it's open to the air, so eventually it starts going off. And you end up with a vinegar mother in the bottom. Now, I was curious about the vinegar mother. I want to do something with it. So that is the vinegar mother from that snotty thing there, is the vinegar mother from the malt vinegar from work. So this is going to turn into a longer video than I want, instead of me just going straight into it. So if you, imagine that this is the vinegar pot, and we haven't got a lid on it, and it's got that tiny air hole there. As long as it's not open to the environment, that vinegar will stay good for a long time. However, because of that air hole there, eventually over time a mother forms in the bottom of the vinegar. Now, so that is the mother from the bottom of the vinegar. Can't use it at work. There's nothing wrong with the vinegar. It's not off or anything like that, and it still tastes vinegary, but it starts to lose its vinegary kind of flavour. So, not being from the north of the UK, I don't like waste, and no one should like waste actually. So this is actually vinegar from the vinegar that was turning that had the mother underneath it. So I didn't want to waste it. I can't use it at work because it's not just quite as vinegary. And once a mother has formed into vinegar, it's just going to carry on forming another mother. Once even if you take that mother out, it's better to get rid of all the vinegar and the mother, and then clean the container out. Start again with some fresh vinegar. So how does this taste? Vinegary, but not very vinegary. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's taken on a different flavour to normal malt vinegar. So this is normal malt vinegar, and it's really harsh. It's all it's really suitable for is like gastric reductions, pickling things, and making condiments, and putting on your chips, because it's just too harsh. However, that has mellowed. That's mellowed as that. And that's got all kinds of different flavours going on. That's interesting. That's interesting. I was going to use that, I'm not now. I wonder if that's kind of going like down the balsamic route. Like it's mellowed. That's interesting. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use that for something else. That can live in the back of the cupboard, and that can be. We'll ponder on that. We will ponder on that, because that was kind of quite interesting. I was wanting to have a play around with making maybe some balsamic at some point, because I make my own vinegars. Well, I faff around making vinegars. I don't purposely make my own vinegar to use. I just have a faff around with vinegar. So that's interesting. So we're not going to use that. We've got a little bit more of the mushroom ketchup. We might add more of that. And then I was rooting around at work, and at the back of one of the condiment cupboards was some what my dad would call mustard vinegar. So a mixture of mustard powder. So we've got some mustard powder. I'll show you what mustard powder is. So in the UK you can buy this, which is Coleman's mustard powder, which is like that. Really good for making rubs and things like that. What my dad used to do was mix it with malt vinegar and sugar and make like a paste, and then kind of serve that on roast pork. Quite an old-fashioned type of thing to do. I don't really think many people would do that anymore. They would just buy some mustard to put on their pork. But it's kind of quite interesting, and maybe we'll have a go at some stage about making some now. So this was probably, I don't think we've got a date on this. Oh, that's not so bad. 2016. So that's another thing that's been in the cupboard for 8 years at work at the back while I was having a bit of a clear out. That's embarrassing, isn't it? That's embarrassing, isn't it? So it's had 8 years of being maturing. So let's give that a taste and see if we can think that'll work in the ketchup as well. It's not going to poison me because it's only vinegar, mustard, and sugar. That's nice. That can go in. That can go in. And then, oh yeah, so this is something that's been in the cupboard at the back at home. How old's this? Oh, this is not so bad. This is 2021. So this is only 3 years out of date. This will be a mixture of reduced vinegar, sugar, and gravy browning, which I'll have used for some kind of dressing or made something out of, or made some like balsamic onions or something like that. So that's got that kind of consistency. What does that taste like? That's delicious. I know what that is. I know what that is. That will be. I don't think I've done it. I don't think I've done it. I don't think I've made a video out of this. So I made a beetroot salad. So by cooked beetroot, and then I chopped it up, and then I put in a reduction of a bit of acid reflux with that. I've just had coffee. So and then I dressed it in some reduced vinegar, sugar, and gravy browning, and onions to make like a beetroot salad. I don't think I've made that. I don't think I've made that a video about that. I will do it at some stage. It's a nice little salad. So we'll play around with that. That's another video I need to make. So that was the dressing from that. So I saved the extra dressing that leached out of it, and that's what that is. So that's going to be delicious. That will go in. That's nicely matured. And then this is, well, we'll see. This is, so I've got them to hand. So we've got some sun-dried tomatoes that we bought from the supermarket, and it looks like they come with a little bit of vinegar at the bottom, so we can see there's some like vinegar stuff there and the oil at the top. And because I don't like to waste things, I was using the sun-dried tomatoes in something else, and then I kind of thought, oh well, we'll save the oil and what else comes out of there, and that's that. So we will pour off this, I don't know what will happen to it, but we'll pour off the oil from the top because I don't want the oil in it, and then we'll see what it tastes like underneath. Well, I'm fine with a little bit of oil in it, I just don't want the rest. So let's get another spoon, get some more washing up, and taste what's in the bottom of there. So I don't want this ketchup type thing to be oily, but a little bit of oil and they'll be fine. But you can see that. Can we just get rid of that so we can taste the vinegary juice underneath? Yeah, that's nice. So kind of salty, tomatoey kind of flavour kind of going on there. So we'll get the oil off the top of there, and the bottom of that will go in as well. Now, I'm adding all these kind of things that people are not going to have in the house. So I'm using this as a bit of a dumping ground. You're not going to have those type of things. So what I would do is I would compensate for all those things with a bit of Worcestershire sauce and some dark soya sauce and a little bit of gravy browning to improve its colour. So, but this is just a video of me faffing around with things that I've got lying around. So, we'll do some chopping up. We'll chop those down into more manageable sizes. I'm not bothered about little blemishes like that. Little blemishes like that, that'll be fine. So we'll do some chopping, and then we will add some vinegar, cook it down, pure it, add all these things to it, cook it down. I'll cook the onions first, and then we'll add all the other stuff kind of to it. There is about, all onions in all, there's about 1.5 kilos, and then it's not particularly a recipe as such, but I'll keep an eye on how much vinegar that I add, even though I can't even do that because that's not going to be able to, there's not going to be a recipe of this, it's just going to be a use your own sense of taste. But this video is getting far too long, so I'll stop now. The onions have been cooking for a bit with some of the other extra ingredients in. Let's add in the other ones. So all that tamarind's going in. No, it's not tamarind. All that miso is going in because I'm not going to use it and it's a little bit past its best. So that's certainly all going to go in, and then we'll rinse out the jar with a bit of vinegar because the vinegar is certainly going to go in. So I need another spoon. So many spoons. We're going to put some of this tamarind in. We're not going to put it all in because it's got a good shelf life on it. I might be able to use it for something else. So nice colour. So we probably won't need to add as much gravy browning, or if anything at all. So I'm going to put in 4 teaspoons of that, and then I'll just wipe my finger off on that. That'll need a wipe or it's going to stain something, everything. So wash finger. That's right. All of that's going in, so that's nice and, so that's the whole sin, that's going to go in. That's nice and fruity. And then I already put some Tabasco in. Then how much of this are we going to put in? Now we're not going to need any gravy browning. We're going to put that much of that in. And then let's rinse these out. So we can always balance the vinegar with a bit of sugar. I need to put some sugar in as well, but we'll do that in a bit. So clean off the spoon with the jet of vinegar. That goes into wash. Give this a shake to get as much out as possible, so we don't like waste. Then that can get poured into there, and we'll give that a shake. And I think we'll use that bottle. It's a nice shaped bottle to make some, to put some brown sauce in, or some fake brown sauce. Although surely any sauce that's brown is brown sauce. Anyway, so that's going to go in. Then we need a little bit more just to get the last remnants of that out. So this is not, it's not a recipe. It's just me putting things in some onions and cooking it down, and then see what it tastes like. And then we need, no, I got that now, I've got a small spatula, and then let's put in this faff around mushroom ketchup in. So we don't need to put any more mushroom ketchup in because we've already got that mushroom, half a bottle of mushroom ketchup and some more onions in there. So is that everything we're putting in? Is that everything we're putting in? I think that's it. That's it. Right, so we'll give a mix around. We'll bring, that's going to be a good colour. We'll give it a taste now with another spoon if I can find one. Because I think I've run out of spoons because I washed them all up. Find something. So it'll need more salt. It'll probably need a little bit more vinegar. That's nice. That's nice. It needs more salt. Let's put some more pepper in now. I don't think it's going to need, because we put that in and that's got sugar, it's not going to need any sugar in it. I don't think. Is there anything else that we put in that was sweet? There's a few things that are a little bit sweet. I don't think it's going to need any more sugar in it. So bring that up to boil, and then we'll give it a final taste, and then we'll give it a, oh, can we get away with some more Tabasco? That's nice. Right, so there's only that much Tabasco left, so might as well put it all in. I don't think we'll taste it. I don't think it's that hot. Tabasco's not really hot. It's one of those, it's probably, well, it used to be probably the best-selling, well-known hot sauce in the world, but there's a lot more out there these days. And I find Tabasco, you get an initial burst of heat, and then it backs right off. So I tried some earlier, and it was kind of quite hot, but now there's no tingling in my mouth whatsoever. So we might as well use that up. I don't think it'll. I think it'll just have a nice spiciness. I can smell it. I think it has a nice spiciness, but nothing too much to it. I think it's going to be really nice. So a little bit more vinegar. That'll help the preserving, and I want it to be sharp because we're going to serve it with things that need a little bit of sharpness to them. So generally with rich dishes, you need a little bit of sharpness. But anyway, so up to boil. Give it a chance to amalgamate all the flavours. Amalgamate to mix all the flavours together, and then we'll give it another taste, and then we'll jar it up, and then we'll see what it's like. This bit has come back up to temperature and cooked for a bit. That's lovely. That's lovely. So what we're going to do now is we're going to puree it with a hand blender. So things taste differently when they are smooth or when they are chunky. If they are smooth, we're going to get like a uniform kind of flavour. And we're also going to puree it, and then we're going to put it through a sieve so it's super fine. So that will change the flavour. It's also going to taste differently when it's cold as well. So it tastes nice now, but we'll puree it, push it through the sieve, which is just get it as smooth as you can with the hand blender, and then just push it through the sieve like that. So we're just using the bottom of the spoon there to push things through there. It's a bit of a laborious job, but I want it smooth, so we just kind of have to do it. And if there's anything in there, like bits of pepper, we kind of it'll just kind of sieve them out, and then we'll jar it up. So we'll push it through the sieve. We'll put it back into a clean pan, and then heat it up. And then when we put it in the jars, it'll sterilise it. But then we'll also be able to taste it as well. So we'll taste it when it's pureed and hot, and then be able to adjust the kind of seasoning. If we need to put more salt in, then would be the time. If it needs maybe a little bit more sugar, or a little bit more vinegar, or maybe some fresh pepper in it, that's when we'll do it. So I'll puree. You don't need to see that. Push it through the sieve, and we're back when it's heated up, and we're going to re-season it if it needs it. So push it through the sieve. That's all the debris that's left, so we could push more of that through, but it's thick enough. It's thick enough, and there's not that much flavour in that because most of the flavour's gone into that. So give this a taste and see what we think. Does it need more salt? Does it need more pepper? I'm certainly going to put some more pepper in it because I kind of think freshly ground black pepper will be nice. Nice and fruity is that. Don't think it needs any more heat, doesn't need any more vinegar, doesn't need any more salt. It will taste different when it's cold, so you kind of have to use your intuition about that, but that's fine. And then we've got some jars that have been sterilised in the oven, and I just need to sterilise some tops, which will just put them in some boiling water. Do you need to see me put things in jars? No. What we can do is I'll put these in jars. Just give it another taste. No, it's good. So put this in jars. Nice and sterilise the lids. We'll leave one jar open, and then we'll taste that tomorrow morning and see what it kind of tastes like in its cold state. They have cooled overnight, so the ones that I put in jars and put the lids on, they've completely sealed. So that's alright, that'll keep forever. This was the one that was just a part one, which is also sealed slightly. So let's have a look at consistency. That's a nice consistency for brown sauce. It's an onion condiment really, isn't it? That's lovely. That's lovely, it's that. Next time I've got a bit of leftovers, I've got some sausages I want to cook for a sausage sandwich or a bacon sandwich. That is lovely. It's fruity, it's vinegary, it's nice, it's lovely, but completely, it's a little bit too vinegary if you just eat it off the spoon. A completely pointless video for you though. For anyone else wanting to make that, you can't because you didn't have those ingredients. But I've made it before and just used onions and vinegar and pepper and salt, and it was very nice. And then, but that's what have I got in the cupboards? What needs using up? What else can we use in something to give it a bit more flavour? So it's kind of a lesson on that, taking the base of something and then adding other things to it that we need to use up or want to try in it for a bit of fun. So from that point of view, it's